Welcome everyone who joined the panel. We will start in 5 minutes. So bear with us as we will start in 5 minutes. Okay, sorry, I was talking in a mute. Assalamu alaikum. Hi, everyone. I'm super excited to be in the Exel Gaming Accelerator panel discussion today and moderating this exciting panel with these amazing people. I'm sure today we will share amazing and exciting information about the program itself, about game development, about game publishing. I'm sure that many people, even interested in the gaming industry itself, are joining us today. So I hope everyone will have fun. And so let me start by introducing myself first. I'm Mohammed Libsami. I'm the moderator. I was kindly invited by the guys at Excel by Mirak to moderate this discussion. You guys know me from True Gaming as well. And next, let me introduce the two people from Mirak itself. So first, we have Faisal Sidrani. He is the VP at Mirak Capital, head of Excel as well. So he's the head of the program. He has a lot of information about the program itself. He is also an expert in entrepreneurship, innovation. So welcome, Faisal, to the panel.
Thank you so much, Mohammed. شرفنا فيك.
حبيبي. Next, we have Abdelilah Al-Sharif. Abdelilah is the VP at Mirak Capital. He is a venture capital guy. He's an expert in investment and the VCs. He will be sharing a lot today, and I know very well he is as well a hardcore gamer. So welcome, Abdelilah, with us today in this panel.
Thank you, Mohammed. Thank you. Very exciting. Happy to see you all joining.
And also, we have two amazing guests that I will introduce today as well. The first is Alexander Boyski. He's an entrepreneur in residence in Exel Gaming Accelerator. I'll give you a quick bio about Alexander. He is the CEO and founder of Boyski Productions, a prolific video game publisher and production company. With over 14 years in the industry, he worked on 21 financially successful titles. That's good accolade as well. And also including these 21 included 3 that had sold over 1 million copy. So his expertise spans publishing, business development, product management, and have had key positions in different institutions, including Gamersgate and Games Planet and Robot Kashi. Welcome, Alex, with us today in this panel. And as well, you've been living in Saudi for quite a time. So this is something I learned
Mashallah, I
yesterday.
have. I've lived 18 years in Saudi Arabia. Shukran, thank you so much for your attention and kind words, and I hope to be of use here.
Excited to hear you talk today about the gaming industry and these titles that you've been involved with. That's an amazing resume. So next is Aitor Lozano, an entrepreneur in residence in Exel Gaming Accelerator. Aitor is an experienced freelance game developer with a degree in computer science engineering and over a decade of experience bringing creative ideas to life for global teams. With a strong foundation in programming and additional expertise in setting up backend services for video games and teaching based in the Canary Islands, Spain. Welcome with us, Aitor, and I'm sure you have a lot to share as well today.
Thank you for having me.
Amazing. So these are our guests, and we will be talking with them, and also we will be allowing everyone to give us their own questions. So our esteemed panel will be able to answer them. So you can start preparing the questions from now and posting them. Our team will be able to pick the questions and give them to us at the end of the panel. We will allocate around 20 minutes for the questions, because I'm sure that you guys want to ask a lot of questions. It's an exciting and amazing program that a lot of you would like to know about. So first I will start with Faisal, as he's the one heading the whole effort. So Faisal, the Exel Gaming Accelerator, I want to know more about the role that it will play in the Saudi gaming industry. Yani, what are you trying to achieve through the Exel Gaming Accelerator?
Amazing, amazing. First of all, thank you, Muhammad, for the great introduction, and thank you for joining us. And thank you for all the amazing guests joining us. We have a huge number, mashallah, of attendees. To answer your question, Muhammad, first of all, we identified that the Saudi market in the last 5 years was focusing more in towards the ideation stage of the game, building the talent in the Saudi market. The amazing efforts that have happening from our partner Ministry of Information and Technology, Code, Saudi Digital Academy, all those efforts have the seeds, the foundation of an amazing technical knowledge that we have in the kingdom. So we understand that there is a gap in the market for the business side of the gaming industry. So building on that foundation, we developed our program to help gaming startup build sustainable companies that can be profitable and be sustainable. So we focused and we designed our program to be focused on building the company, not building the game itself. We saw a lot of amazing, talented Saudi developers in the market, either in similar to what you have happening in True Gaming Awards. You invited the indie studios. We saw the amazing games that they have. It's time to take the next level, to change the strategy of the game to be sustainable and profitable, and you can commercialize on your game.
Amazing. So this is something that you guys talk to the game development industry about here in the region, or is it something that you guys observed yourself? I mean, focusing on the business side of things, because as you said, when we saw some of the games, especially the ones that appeared in True Gaming Awards, people here have good creative ideas. They can create exciting games, but you think that we need to focus on the business side of things when it comes to the accelerator?
100%, Muhammad. After we studied the market, we talked to many game developers in the region, and we visited many shows all around the world. To be specific, globally, it's the same problem, especially in development market, similar to Saudi Arabia. the business side of the gaming industry needs more attention and more program to upskill people on that, on cover that that knowledge. And as you can see, the people who have developed the program and behind the program itself, especially the technical part of it, and you will be talking to many of them in this panel, are gaming experts. So they know the industry, they know the ins and outs of it, and based on that, we developed this program.
Amazing stuff. طيب, I will move to عبد الإله. عبد الإله, يعني you are more experienced as well in investment and the growth strategies for gaming startups as well. يعني I want to know, يعني how can you help them, you know, to actually go on a path where they can be successful, where they can be, you know, build a proper company, financially successful, hire new people, grow their efforts in game development, and etc. And also, I want you to talk to me as well as the portfolio management part from the Excel program.
Sure thing. So from our perspective, when I look at gaming companies, I will say there is the technical experience, or technical capability, which we believe about 95% of all games out there don't require supreme technical capability. That's why we do not focus on teaching how to build games. And the other aspect is the fun factor, the creativity, the ability to produce something of great value. That's left with the creatives at the company. That's not something that we can work. That's not something we work and try to kind of affect. However, the other aspect of the business, which is company creation, scaling the company, the governance, hiring, staffing up, having the right process and procedures in place. These are kind of in skeleton, they're common between different industries, software and game development and so on. But the game development has its own, let's say, playbook, its own standard, its own way of doing things. That's what we're looking to instill in the company. So first, build a company right from the start through Exel Gaming Accelerator. And second, we as the fund will be with the company for the next 10 years. We're not a 3 months kind of thing and then we're out. We're with the company for the next 10 years. So when it comes to, and we've seen everything. So Mirac, we manage about 2.5 billion riyals from companies that we gave $100,000 to a company that we gave $100 million. So I've seen companies scale from 3 people to 300 to hopefully going public. So we know the cycle very well. We know what it takes to get there. We know the struggles. We know the big filters, the big hurdles that companies face and how to kind of navigate and move around them. So we're there for the next 10 years. So whatever problems scaling from, let's say, a team of 3 to a team of 20, or a team of 40, that's a problem. Scaling from 40 above, that's an even bigger issue. Hiring your first C-level team, restructuring the company, answering to the board, preparing for acquisition, for IPO, all that, we will be there along the way for the whole road. And I think that's the kind of business value that we provide. As for the portfolio management, so the portfolio management side, we do something what we call value creation plans, where with every company we will be close, we'll assess their issues, we'll ask what we can help with, and we'll try to push the company forward down the road. Because our ultimate goal as equal, let's say, equity holders is to see the company flourish and become a big champion for us in Saudi. So we will help you throughout the years. We've been diligently building a great pipeline of partners, of supporters, of ecosystem, let's say, participant that we will make the introduction to, and you will tomorrow, hopefully you will see. I'm not sure I'm not sure if we're like announcing 4 or 5 of these partners, but you will find them there. Some of them will help you in subsidies. Some of them will lower the backend cost for you. Others will give you experts, and it's all because we put the backing of Mirac behind us, and this will remain and will only grow for the next 10 years. So that's what we do as of kind of value. Other than that, the actual investment money is also tremendous value, of course.
Thank you, Abdullah. Amazing stuff and insights into the program. I love where this is going. I love the direction. Okay, it's important to know that يعني, we're not just getting another accelerator program. We're getting something new, something that can add benefits to all these developers. يعني, especially game developments is يعني is something that يعني, it's not an easy project to get into. So we need all the help that we can get into this journey. And now I will go to someone with a lot of experience with creating successful games, Alex. So يعني, you've been working on many games, and as you said, 3 of them achieved over 1 million in sales, so or downloads. So we want to know يعني, what does it take, to make a successful game, not only a good game, no, a game that actually can, be demanded in the market as well.
Right.
In the end, you need to make money. So
Right.
I'm sure that's in the mind of everyone who's joining us today. So tell us, please, about this, and as well as how can an accelerator like Excel by Mirac contribute to the success of the game.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for the questions. And let me just go down the line here by talking a little bit about the indie game publishing landscape in 2025, because that'll define the rest of the conversation that we'll have today. But basically, what a publisher does is fund, market, distribute indie games, right? They adopt the Steam token, they create the landing page on Steam, oftentimes handling the platform negotiations and store placements, things like the daily deals, discounts, the weekend deals on Steam, bundles on Humble, Fanatical, different stores, you name it. I mean, a publisher's job inherently is to take work off of a development studio's hands, right? So the services a publisher usually offer are QA, localization, porting, community management, marketing. I mean, marketing is both guerrilla and paid to ensure a game's success. So just a little bit of everything. As I said, greasing the wheels to help things go along. This is based on a revenue share model that varies, but usually is considered with an advance, a minimum guarantee, so to speak, or a development fund of sorts. These are the norms, and it usually goes down to a revenue split based on recoupable lump sums of those sums that I mentioned in the past. An example would be, an advance of 100,000 euros is made on a title. When it hits early access Kickstarter 1.0, you have it. The first 100K will be used to recoup the publisher at a percentage that is previously determined. Most of these publishers set the recoup at 100%, but some offer more flexible terms. So once that recoup is hit, the game might go to a negotiated 50-50 split. So that's where a publisher goes from there on. Up until that point, the publisher has handled, as I said, marketing, localization, QA, all these things that help augment a game's value. And the value proposition leads into the marketing strategy that's defined. And the marketing strategy can be talked about in terms of a pre-launch, where you build a presence in Steam to gather wish lists, which is, it's not tantamount to success. A wish list is usually something that is it's a tangible figure before a game's launch that lets you know that the game is going to be popular, but it doesn't necessarily determine popularity. But it is a driving factor for publishers and for development studios in the whole to advance towards. So it's more of a sort of a dowsing rod to know where you're going to end up in terms of sales. You couple that with social media, press outreach and the Steam page itself, and during this pre-launch period, you get the word out. And this is super important in the landscape in 2025, because nowadays there's just so many games coming out at any one moment that it's hard to hear anyone's voice amongst all the noise, right? Then you get to the launch phase, where you leverage influencer campaigns via guerrilla marketing that I mentioned before, and platform features and paid ads and the such. Guerrilla marketing, by the way, is when the publisher reaches out directly to influencers and tries to leverage renown or popularity of the game or wish lists or just the game's fun factor to get them to cover the title for free or as close to free as possible. So you could usually get good deals based on your publisher's reputation to get the word out there. And then there's post-launch, which is just you sustain the momentum of the game's launch to make hockey stick go as long as possible in terms of sales, with content updates, DLC, community engagement, And a clear example of this is my latest title, Traveler's Rest, which has done exceptionally well due to systematic updates and recently the inclusion of multiplayer, free LC, and stuff like that. So, I mean, in terms of current market trends and business development, as I said before, the indie space is highly saturated. It makes unique positioning and strong marketing absolutely essential, which is why a publisher is so important here, or in this case, Exel, right? Most developers don't have the know-how, the reputation, or the context to leverage their strengths. And you'll see this really systematic approach where developers will launch their titles to high review scores but very low sales, which will oftentimes result in the shuttering of said studios, right? And a publisher's job is to ensure this doesn't happen via everything I've mentioned before, the marketing, the QA, localization, and such. And things like subscription services like Game Pass, Humble, Fanatical are now key alternative revenue streams, but you have to keep in mind that Steam is the breadwinner here. The majority of your sales will be done through Steam, and if you don't stand out head and shoulders above the crowd, you're going to have some difficulties there. So these require a strong value proposition, context, and negotiation that may take a long time in general terms, but it's good to have a runway for these things. And in short, the current landscape is a bit messy due to the noise, but it's navigatable with the help and proper mentoring, which I believe that Exel is achieving in this game space. And this initiative is unique in the way that it's positioning itself against the norm. And I personally believe that it has a bright future ahead. So, that's why I'm here today. And that's pretty much it.
Insight.
Cheers.
Amazing insight. And it's definitely, especially the thing that you said is, can you be noticed when you launch on Steam? That's an important thing to do. And there are a lot of releases every year and every day. And so you need to be sure that you made the right game that have the characteristics that will help it to succeed. So creating the game itself, I will move to Aiter, to talk more about the game development side of things, and the engines, Unity, Unreal, the other engines, doing things in-house, outsourcing, a lot of decisions that every game developer have to make, and every time you can see a developer with a different approach to these things. So tell us from your experience, what you can tell us about these things.
Oh, thank you. Well, I would say that, every game.
I think you have a problem with your mic.
Really?
Can you hear him, guys?
Hello, hello?
Yes, I think there is a problem.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes,
Now
it's
good.
working. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry about that. So yeah, I was saying that publishing a game, almost any type of game, I think it's a really hard, task to do for everyone, in the sense of it's really hard to make shortcuts to get a great product. I would say that it doesn't matter how small you think, or one can think the game they want to make is, and they can think that it's easy. There are always tons of issues along the road, right, to figure out and solve, because at the end of the day, everyone wants to make his game, right, unique in some way. And as Alexander already said, the market is really saturated. Every developer needs to look for a way of innovating in their own way, but at the same time need to be mindful or aware of the limitations that may have, right? We don't have unlimited resources when making a video game. We need to rely on other people. We need to set up the team depending on those resources we may have. Depending on the game we want to make, we may need to redesign or think our approach for developing a specific game. I know I'm being a bit vague with that answer, right? But at the end of the day, it always depends on the game we want to make, on the resources that we may have. It's true that not only the market is how it is, but at the same time, the tools that we have as developers are quite huge, in the sense of sometimes we don't know where to start, right? Depending on the type of game we want to make, we may need to choose the right tool for the game we want to make. For example, if our target audience, or the game we want to make, is for PC, Steam, VR, we may lean toward game engines like Unreal or Unity 3D. But if we want to focus on small market or mobile market, or maybe even web-based platforms, then we may need to look for lightweight game engines, like could be, I don't know, Default or Phaser, that can help us to get a better product, right? Because I think that at the end of the day, making a game is the combination of having the right tools and, of course, the knowledge to do that. Trying to get the best out of the idea that we want to tell to our people, right? To the target we wanna reach. So yeah, I would say that's one way to put it down. So without getting too technical, I would say.
Thank you, Aitor. And it's always a struggle, we have any smaller games that have low risk but low reward as well, and then we have higher AAA games with high risk and also high reward. So it's a question of both the technical side and then also the financial side. So we need to also make this decision and take it not very lightly. But I want to ask you both, Aitor and Alex, about how important is mentorship at this stage for these developers, in order to grow and go to the next level?
Right. If you want, I thought respond first, and then you can go.
Yeah.
Well, in general terms, mentorship is fundamental to success. If I hadn't been mentored back in the day, if I hadn't been taught, if I hadn't been educated or given advice, I wouldn't be where I am today. There are a lot of people who have helped me on my path to success, and I wouldn't claim otherwise. Anyone who says that they are a one-man army is usually going to fall short. So mentorship is a critical, absolutely fundamental part of any sort of development, be it personal growth or game development, because you need to understand that nobody knows everything at any given time. You need to let someone who has experienced things before you teach you what you need to know before stumbling across the same blocks that they've stumbled. I mean, it's something that I've always talked about in many of my online panels that I've given, or panels in person. You can claim to be an expert at something and always learn something new. So my my absolute advice is to take advice at this point in time.
Yeah, I agree with Alexander that at the end of the day, having mentorship is a great resource that I wish everyone could take, right? Everyone would be like have access to that kind of help, because it's just invaluable, right? I think it's really hard, even for the big companies that have already achieved a successful game, to replicate the same formula over and over. There's no magic formula for that, because everything matters. The timing when you publish the game, if it's the audience is ready to get that game, if it's known or not. There are many factors, and at the end of the day, it's just I would say, trial and error. And if we can find some type of shortcuts, of course, bypass those stones in the path, then yeah, of course, that's great.
If I may
Amazing.
add,
Thank you.
Muhammad,
Add Faisal.
to what they said regarding mentorship. Learn from their mistakes. Talking to mentors, they will show you the mistakes that they have made in the past, and they will show you how they overcome these mistakes and achieve the success that you need to achieve. So this is a really important thing. As Alex said, even in your personal life, mentorship, guidance, even in Islam, وأمرهم شورى بينهم. المشورة و taking advice from people, it's an essential part for someone person.
Amazing. Also, as well, I've been a mentor in some of the other programs that happened in Saudi as well, and I told many of the studios that I met that you always can find help in other places. It doesn't have not everything needs to happen in house. There are other people with higher skills than you in specific parts of the game development cycle, and you need to see. Of course, we've been getting a lot of questions, and I remind everyone that you can add your own questions in the Q&A section. There is a Q&A section in the webinar itself that you can add questions. And actually, the first question is sent to you, Faisal, but I will allow everyone to answer as well. And it's one of the things that we wanted to discuss today. So I will say it. I will begin with it. It's about the common challenges, that these early stage startups in gaming face. You talked, Faisal, about the struggle in the business side of things. What are other common struggles, that these early stage starters usually face, and they need to focus on to get help?
I would say one of the biggest struggles or challenges that a startup might face is building the team. It's really difficult to hire the right talent that you need with the right budget and strategy. Having a clear structure of your company, who reports to who, the team dynamics, and having the right mindset of the team. Be it is getting or reaching the harmony between the team, how they communicate together, these kind of emotional intelligence skills that you need to be a leader for a company. That's a really big challenge, I would say, for a gaming startup. Of course, marketing, the legal aspect of the marketing of the gaming industry, struggles with IP, using IP, lending IP, or giving IP to other game developers, publishing, talking to publishers, and understanding publishing deals. All of these aspects comes to my mind when you say challenges for a gaming startup.
Amazing.
Alex, yeah.
If I may add on to what was just said,
sure.
My personal advice regarding what Faisal just said is to properly delegate. Now, I make it a habit to set the skill set of my person. I can't, determine anyone else's until I've vetted them properly. But my personal skill set, I would say I'm a 6 or a 7 at everything, right? More or less. I will always systematically try to hire people that are 8, 9, or 10 at everything. I will never hire people that I know more about than in any certain skill set. Always hire if you're hiring or doing business development. Always hire people that know more than you, that can run circles around you, because you will do two things: you will learn from them, and you will get a job well done, in my opinion.
Thank you, Alex. We have a question that says, if we already have a valuation from an accredited VC in the US that goes a bit over the accelerator standard, should we still apply? We are on the pre-seed stage and have been looking to expand to Saudi and UAE. So maybe Faisal or Abdullah. Yeah.
I'll take that. Without a doubt, apply regardless. Because it's a lot better. So when you apply, we will check if you fall within the accelerator standard or no. But regardless, you will be within our database, so we can come back to you. We have you in our database because we're investing in a lot of companies. We're doing multiple accelerators, so it's a lot better to have your information than not. I'd say definitely apply, and yeah, no worries. We'll take it from there.
Thank you, Abdullah. So we have it's a bit of a generic question to you, Alex, which is how can we make a successful game?
What is the secret formula for Coca-Cola, right? Well,
yeah.
In general terms, I feel one should follow their heart. Don't make a game you feel is going to be directed towards a specific market. You are not a multi-million-dollar company that has a huge, team behind it to determine what the market is looking for. If you're an independent developer and you're doing things, just do it from the heart. Do what you feel is good. Then find a team that wants to support you. And then, and only then, once you have a vertical slice or a minimum viable product, start to gauge that product towards a larger audience. Let me explain. You have a game that is a specific genre, okay? And this is the net of the amount of people that are going to play that genre. When you reach a minimum viable product, you will try to open that net to get as many fish as possible. My advice would be to adapt to common trends in the industry, to find a publisher who can do proper support and actually cares about your product, not just about the money, and to do as much as you can to get the word out. So the secret sauce doesn't exist. It's just hard work and dedication.
I would add,
Amazing.
if may I?
Yeah, sure, Aitan.
Don't try to make everyone happy. Don't try to make a game for everyone. Somebody's going to dislike your game at some point. So just keep that in mind.
Amazing. No one will be able to make everyone happy. That's a given. Okay, so the next question is: at what point in production is it best to apply for such a programs? Is it a demo? Is the demo required? A pitch deck? How polished should the demo be if it is required?
I will take this, Mohammed.
Okay.
For the Gaming Accelerator, we expect you to show us something, even if it was a rough kind of demo. Being in this accelerator, yes, we are focusing in the business side of the gaming industry, but we have mentors that will help you also build the technical part of your game. We designed the program to give you a space and enough time for you to build the technical part of it with the help of mentors, with the help of your colleagues and the accelerator team, EIRs that will be with you the full day and the full length of the program. So to answer it shortly, any rough game, any rough demo can apply. And for that, you can see the QR code in the screen. You can scan it. You can go to our website to apply for the accelerator and to get to know more information. There is an FAQ question, all the information needed there.
Amazing. So the next question is: does the accelerator help with marketing and getting the game out there?
Definitely. And maybe Alex can elaborate more on the marketing side. But definitely there is specific weeks, if I'm not mistaken, about 4 weeks focusing on monetization, marketing, publishing. and specific expert mentors that will join us from abroad. They will come in person to Saudi Arabia. They will stay the full length of the duration of the topic, let's say for marketing. They will give the knowledge, and then they will do a couple of workshops with you to develop your marketing strategy. Then they will sit one-to-one with each participant or startup to polish their marketing strategy. So you will get the theoretical knowledge. You will do a workshop to build the strategy of your marketing for how to market your game. And you will get a one-to-one tailored mentoring for that topic.
On my end, as an EIR, I'm going to be there alongside the entire duration of the program, and I will be available to address each and every topic regarding marketing, publishing, production that should arise. So my role is going to be a sort of Jiminy Cricket or a mentor or consultant that you can come to and ask for advice. I'm happy to do so because that's what I've been doing for the past 14 years, and I want to spend another 20 doing it at least. So please count on me.
Thank you. The next question is actually for Aitor. How do I choose to hire a team or get freelance or third party?
I guess that depends on many things. It depends on the game. It depends on if you already have a team to rely on, or it may also depend on the expertise you have or the current state of the game. If you are starting from scratch, then if you can, you may try to set up a team so you make the game source from scratch with them, and everyone is aware of the small details of the game itself. But if not, if the game is already defined or is it already in progress, then probably hiring some people to join your team as an external part could be an option. Talking from my experience, at least, I've worked in the two ways, right? I've been working from scratch with clients, going from the definition of the game, designing it, and prototyping, developing the game, QA, and all these stages. But I've also joined, existing code bases or working teams that they may just need, accelerating the development process. Or I've also joined some other teams for, while the main team is working on the game itself, I've been making the port of that game. So they have both versions of the games available at the end. So I guess there's no right or wrong answer here. It depends on the state of the actual game and the resources you may have.
Thank you, Aitor. The next question is actually for Abdullah. What makes this accelerator different for support and funding?
Okay, so the Gaming Accelerator or Exel Gaming Accelerator, it's considered what's known as a funded accelerator. So you will find there are different types of accelerators. You will find some that are built on, for instance, grants, or some that are built on like one-time kind of investment. The difference between this accelerator and everyone else is that it has an $82 million gaming dedicated fund attached to it. And that's our Mirak Gaming Fund. And the fund is going to be there for 10 years. So this is one difference in terms of the kind of support that you will see. So should you be successful, the fund will keep investing in the company and pushing it towards success. That's on one side. And the other side is that we do not take any kind of, let's say, revenue share or recoupment, or we don't have any redemption on things. It's purely an equity investment. We look to put money in interesting founders, interesting companies, and then double down on winners and successful companies. And from the side, as Faisal talked about, which is we're more commercially focused, commercially driven, and we like the success of the companies more than the success of the games. So as an indie dev, it's kind of back in my mind, this is my assumption. is that your first game is gonna fail, and the second is gonna fail, the third is gonna fail a little bit, not a lot of fail, but the fourth and the fifth are gonna be better, and that's what I'm in for. We're in for the whole company, so for the fourth, the fifth, the strategy as a whole, the studio down after 10 years. That's what we're in for. So our time horizon is long. We're aligned. Our incentives are aligned with you. We take shares. You take shares. If you succeed, we succeed. If you don't, we just don't. You have the backing of an $82 million gaming dedicated fund. So that's obviously these are the main structural points of why this is different.
Thanks, Abdulillah. Okay, so the next question, there was a question about the MVP. Just a moment. I missed it, so I'll ask another question. What is the experience assumption in gaming development for those who applies to the program?
So in terms of your experience, there isn't an assumption, nor is there kind of a threshold. What we're doing is kind of prioritizing higher experience versus lower experience, or it's multiple factors. So if the company looks good, if the products look good, if your experience is good, then we're down. So we have no minimum requirement, and definitely no, let's say, maximum requirement for experience. You're experienced or not, apply. Let's see what you can do, and not just that. Apply right now. We'll keep your information in our database. So for the next cohort and the one after. So if you're not experienced enough for cohort 1, hopefully you'll be experienced enough for cohort 2. And if not, then cohort 3. And if not, then cohort 4. And if not, then by 2 years afterwards, we can still talk and see what we can do.
Thank you, Abdulillah. So the next question is, what's the cheat sheet for accepting startups?
Oh, the cheat sheet for accepting startups.
Yeah.
Honestly, there isn't one. We're really nice, and we're close, and we like to be cool with everyone. There isn't a cheat sheet, but without a doubt, a full application is better than a 75% application, and 75 full application is better than 50% application. So try as much as possible. If you apply and we think your application is good, we will reach out for an interview. During the interview, kind of think about your answers. You don't have to answer. So I'm going to ask you a question. You don't have to answer like in the second. Tell me, hey, I'll take like 2 minutes to think. And it's okay. Take 2 minutes, think about it. I don't know what's happening, but take a few minutes, think about, and just come back with an honest question that kind of puts us in a position where we're like, okay, that's the kind of entrepreneur that I want to back. Yeah, I think that's the cheat sheet here.
Amazing. Okay, so for a small indie studio, there are a lot of challenges that we face, especially with the managing both the creative and business side. How could Exel Gaming Accelerator help indie studio navigate those challenges?
I will take that, Mohammed. Yes, it is really difficult. And we understand that the technical knowledge, it's a balance you have to have, especially for a founder and a CEO for a gaming startup. It's a balance. If you're lacking in technical knowledge, you can gain expertise through self-learning. You can go to YouTube, learn more about technical knowledge, gain some insights from people. Your finding mentorship that will help you rise your technical knowledge. But the business side, you need to talk to experts that people have done it before. People who have the knowledge, who have the experience, who can guide you, who can give you the cheat sheet for a gaming start, a successful gaming startup. So I would say this is my answer to this question. Yeah.
You have also the next question, which is, what's the process of applying?
Okay. So process of applying, maybe Abdullah mentioned it a little bit, but just to elaborate more on it, you can scan the QR code. You can go to our website. You can apply there. You'll find the form. Fill the form. We encourage people also to fill the optional side, the optional questions. So having a full application is going to help you a lot for acceptance in our accelerator. Then there is a process of vetting and filtering the applicants. Starts with an interview, then there is multiple committees that your profile will be shown to them. Then they will decide who will join the accelerator. So as Abdullah mentioned, and it's not a one-man decision. It's a process, rigorous process, but it is important for you to be with the right mix of startup joining the accelerator.
The next question is, I assume the accelerator is a mentor type. Does Mirac offer technology and logistical services connect to the publisher, localizer, voice actor agency, or is it just responsibility of the game development studio?
No, definitely. For that, tomorrow at Leap, you will hear about our announcement with multiple partners that will help our gaming accelerator participants. On top of that, for a logistical side, for international companies, we offer soft landing services. So for any foreign companies that wish to relocate or to join the accelerator, you have to relocate. So we will help you on that process, navigating the government portals and all the requirements needed for that. We will link you with multiple publishers. So we have partners with multiple publishers. We will show you how to publish yourself also to get that knowledge. So you'll have the options, and with the help of the mentors, with the EIRs, they will guide you which path is which fits the situation that you have. So yeah, it's not about only mentorship. It's a huge support, even in the financial side. You will get a financial support from people who have expert in the financial sector in the gaming industry. So these people will be with you, helping you do financial modeling, managing your cash flow, and so on. Yeah.
And how much equity does Mirac Capital take from the startup participating in its accelerator program?
Yeah, sure. So for us, the program will support you with $300,000, $150,000 of which in cash and 150 and in kind services. The percentage, let's say, it ranges between the 7 to 10%. That's what we should expect. It's a standard accelerator blanket term, and yeah, I guess that's answered.
Thank you, Abdullah. And we are a gamified tool platform, B2B to C, not exactly a game developer. Can we still apply?
Yeah, so most likely we're not looking for tools for this cohort, but please apply because we are investing also in gaming infrastructure and technology. We need your information so we can reach out to you and understand better what you do. There might be an investment through the accelerator. There might be an investment outside of the accelerator for non-game developers, non-game development companies.
Also, the next question is for Abdullah. If we have a game half built or built for one of the platforms, will it still be eligible for the program?
I mean, if it's eligible. We're asking for an MVP, so half built is a bit above an MVP. So always welcome, of course. And regardless of what you have, I think you should apply regardless because that would directly the information will hit our database. It will sort you where we think matters, and we will always reach out because again we're running 4 cohorts. This is one. There's another one, third, fourth, and as well as our outside of the accelerator investments. So always apply, no matter what. Don't let an opportunity slip like this.
The next question says, for international startups, once the accelerator program is completed, would it be possible for the founder to work remotely from their home country while visiting Saudi Arabia whenever required?
So I'll take this, Faisal, if you will. The idea of the relocation, it's to build and support the ecosystem locally. So this is what our investment committee and our accelerator committee will care about. We'll see what is the plan. Is this company supporting, pushing the local ecosystem into something of value? That's on one side. On the other side, why I kind of need you here is there are a lot of support programs available for gamers, for game developers, game development studios. And I want to utilize these with you, but you have to be here to kind of get access to these programs. And this is from one side. The other side is, as an investor, no country, let's say, in the world is putting as much effort and backing behind game development or gaming sector as Saudi Arabia. And I'm very bullish on what's happening, and I know of the amount of push and the amount of support that's coming from every aspect of the country towards gaming. And I would want companies that will have a better chance to succeed. And I believe being in Saudi is the better chance to succeed. So being remote and here visiting, no, I don't think that works, unfortunately.
Okay, so in the context of products, is your primary focus on the MENA region, or are you more interested in the global market?
No, we're pretty much global, not only primary focus in MENA region. Global, we'll look at the companies, we'll see what works. We're after quality more than anything else.
Amazing. I want to talk to Alex and Aitor before we conclude. As I want you, if you can, send a message to all the all the game developers and people working on. What do you want to say to them about the Exel Gaming Accelerator program? How is it important for them at this stage of their career?
Well, in my personal opinion, having a well-renowned, well-experienced, well-funded group backing your project is something I would have given an arm for back in the day. So it's the reality of the situation as a startup or as a solo dev or as a small indie hopeful. My opinion is that if you have a group willing to get down and dirty in your corner, that's invaluable. And that is what we aim to bring to the table.
Yeah, I agree with Alex, and I would also add that making a video game, I think is one of the hardest thing to do in any type of software development, because we need something that works, right? But that's just the beginning of it. We also need to make it feel something. You want to make the player to feel something while he's playing your game. So since this is so hard to achieve, and only if that was only the only piece you need to make a company for developing games, that okay, maybe that's an option. But there's so many moving pieces that we need to add to that part, right? So as Faisal already mentioned, like the legal part, setting up the company, working with more people, and making your game go global is a huge effort. So yeah, I wish I'd also had the resources when I started working on the game development industry. But that's something that not everybody can afford to take. So yeah, if you can, let's go for it.
Thank you very much. And also a reminder for everyone, if you still have a question, you can send it to the team at info@excelbymirac.com. And also, I would love to have a word also from you guys, Faisal and Abdelilah. يعني a final word to all of our يعني panel audience today.
Definitely, Abdullah, please go ahead.
Of course. First of all, thank you so much for coming. It's heartwarming to see the amount of people, and thank you so much for the questions. And I know I know I would have loved honestly to answer all the questions, but the time constraint is an issue. Please send us your questions, and keep an eye. Excel by Mirak and Mirak Gaming Fund are a 10-year project. They're not a 3 months project. So don't feel like you missed on anything, or that if you don't accept it, that this is that. No. There is a lot to come. And yeah, it's as a person who started as a game dev a while ago, let's say a kind of a solo kind of game dev. I wish I had something like this that could push me towards greater success. And I look forward to seeing you all hopefully succeed. And hey, let's build the first billion-dollar gaming company in Saudi.
Definitely, Abdullah, Allah يعطيك العافية. Thank you everyone for joining us. Great questions. I really enjoyed our discussion. Thank you for esteemed panelist, Muhammad, for being a great moderator. A final words, joining an accelerator in general, talking with experts, talking with fellow peers, people who suffer same as your sufferings and face the same challenges that you will face. It's a life-changing experience. Speaking of experience that I had, having having a startup, joining an accelerator, interacting with people, it's an amazing and life-changing experience. That's the thing that I can add and final as a final thought in this panel. And wishing you all a successful endeavors in your gaming industry.
Thank you, Faisal. It was a pleasure to be joining you all tonight, and it's always exciting to see the passion that all these developers have toward the gaming industry. And believe me when I tell you, with the guys at Mirak, and you're in good hands. And these guys love what they do. They're very passionate about what they do, and they know that very well. So I wish good luck for everyone. I wish I share the same ambition as everyone else here to see a successful game that comes out from Saudi Arabia and achieve success all around the world. I wish Saudi would be also as well a good place for game developers where they can create amazing games. So thank you, everyone. And as I said, you can send your questions to the email. It's already in the chat section. The Excel by Mirak also as well, they have their own Twitter account and other social media account that you can interact with. Thank you, everyone. Good night and good luck.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you all.
Thank you so much for your time tonight.